Leafs now have quite a bit of time off. And their final game was this. They lose 6-2 to the Chicago Blackhawks at Scotiabank Arena. I apologize to all the people who were at the game tonight. It's embarrassing. You know, not about midway through the first period, you're already down 3-0 and you've seen no effort at all. It's sad. It's embarrassing. You know, this team was terrible with Babcock, and we're like, oh, you get rid of him, you bring in Sheldon Keefe. Holy smokes, they turn it around, and then they hit a brick flipping wall, and now you have a long layoff, having lost like 5 of 6. And now, going into that break, the Leafs are now officially, well, not officially, but they're out of a playoff spot right now. They're knocked out of the division by Florida. You know, and they're out of a wild card spot by a point. Philly has that last spot. This team has to wake up. The next game for the Leafs, like I said, is not for quite some time. You literally have that long break plus the All-Star break, so the Leafs do not play until January 27th, people. At the night of this recording, it is January 18th. That is 9 days off. If this team does not come out guns a-blazing, that is post-All-Star break, so it's the informal second half of the season, then it's ridiculous. But this team is not showing us any effort. They're not showing us any fight, and they look lazy. They're turning the puck over the neutral zone. Did you see on Brendan Saad's goal, the third one of the period? I mean, Andreas Johnson at the blue line freaking spinning around in circles. What are you doing? Then turns the puck over and then ends up in the back of the net. Freddie, he needs this All-Star break. Reason being, he hadn't been good lately. That second goal, not very pretty. First one, you got to get to that post. Clearly didn't. Now, ideally, if you want to blame him for all 6 goals, go ahead. I mean, he was in net for all 6. The Leafs didn't help him at all. Bringing in Timothy Liljegren and pairing him with Sandin, that was the idea by Sheldon Keefe, because they played with each other down in the AHL with the Toronto Marlies. It didn't work. At least so far. I mean, I don't know what their numbers were. Marinson was a -4. That sounds about right. Matthews, Hyman, Tavares. You know, Matthews and Hyman were -4 and -3. Tavares was -2. Janssen -2. Marner a -4. Barry a -2. Nylander a -1. Almost all of your great players were minuses. They were terrible. These guys are getting paid $11, $12 million. Nylander only like shit under 7, but these guys are getting paid the damn big bucks. Tyson Barrie wants the big money in the offseason, and they're playing like this. That's the part I think that's frustrating a lot of people. You get paid this big money, you expect big play, and you're not seeing that right now. I'm trying to have faith in this team, but they're not giving me much hope. They really aren't. You know, in the second period, William Nylander scores his 22nd goal of the year on the power play. Marner and Barrie grab assists. And hey, make it a 3-1 game at that point. We're like, all right, we're back into this. Nope, less than 2 minutes later, Jonathan Toews scores. And, you know, they get that one goal right back. It's 4-1. Then they score again. It's 5-1. And Kerfoot scores, making it 5-2. Whoop-de-flippin'-do, I mean, at this point. But then not even over 2 minutes after that, you give him another one. And you're down 6-2. All 6 goals happened in the first 2 periods of this hockey game. The Leafs won in shots. 34-33. Once again, I will say it. The shots on goal stat is meaningless. It's what goes in the back of the net that counts, and we are not seeing a lot of that lately, but the puck is ending up in our net quite often. The Leafs have played ridiculously bad hockey as of late. They're 4-3-3 in their last 10 games. They've lost 2 in a row. They're not playing very pretty. You win that game against Calgary, and then you would have won 2 straight games. You come out today, hey, you feel good, you win another game. That's 3 in a row. It could have changed completely, but instead, you play like garbage. They go out there tonight, they play lazy. Matthews wasn't good, barely saw him out there. You know, Freddie wasn't good. That's always a disaster if you're a Leaf fan, if you see Frederik Andersen not playing well to start a game, because that guy, if he's not playing well, it's going to be a big-time disaster, because the D-core really isn't much right now. Not not just because they're not very good. Also, without Riley and Jake Muzzin, that's two of your top 4 defensemen you're missing right now. Plus, it's not a very good decor as is, so it's not very pretty right now. With the All-Star break now around the corner, and the Leafs have their long layoff right now, now come the talks. The talks of trade deadline and what the heck this team should do. What should they go after? Should they go after a backup goaltender? Should they go for a top-notch D-man? Should they go after a defenseman in general? Who the heck should the Leafs go for? And I'm not talking, big-name guy or whatnot. I'm just talking about, guys, any specific players in a specific trade that you guys have heard of. I want to hear your guys' thoughts, guys. But, again, the way this team is playing right now, it's embarrassing to watch. Now, yes, give credit to Chicago. They have played really well lately. They've won 4 straight games. They've outscored teams like crazy. But the Leafs just laid down and let them get crushed today. And it was a terrible game. It was an awful game. To be totally honest with you guys, I watched the first period, said, oh yeah, the Raptor game's on at 8. Click. Didn't turn the game back. You know why? Because it was sad. You watch the Raptor game and you see excitement, you see heart, you see hard play. With the Leafs, you don't see any of that. Unless they score 4 goals a game. But as I've said to you guys in the past, first goal and first periods of hockey games are what is killing this team. What happened today? Well, you give up a goal in the first 30 seconds. You're down 1-0, 21 seconds in. Not good. 5 minutes in, you give up another goal. And 11 minutes in, you give up another goal. And you're down 3-0 after 1. It was an awful game, an awful period, and it set the tone for the entire game. An awful performance by the Leafs, and really this is the worst case scenario right now because now you're out of a playoff spot. Plus, you've lost 2 in a row. You've lost 4 or 5, 5 of 6, whatever it is. They're not playing very good hockey lately. And I don't know how they're going to turn this around. Because Riley and Muzzin aren't close. Well, Muzzin might be a little close, but Riley's not close. He was out 8 weeks a week ago. So he's a long ways away. What is Kyle Dubas going to do, if anything, during this time where the Leafs do not play? Because if you're going to make a deal, in my eyes, it's now. Because then you have the time to practice, to get you accustomed to the team, whatnot, whoever they bring in, whatnot. And then you fire him in a game like what they did with Muzzin last year. They brought him in a little bit early before the trade deadline, and he was able to get some more games under his belt with the Leafs. If they're going to make trades, it should be soon. Obviously, we're getting close to the end of January. I think February, I'm not sure when, it's mid to late February, I think it is the trade deadline. So we don't know what's going to happen with this team. We have no idea any rumors, what the heck's happening with this team. All I know is that they're not playing very good hockey, and something's got to be done. Whether it's on the ice or off the ice, I can't answer that question. But what I can sit here and answer, and I can sit here and say, is that this team, in the informal second half of the season, coming up after the All-Star break, they got to show one thing. Heart. That's it. You show heart, you're going to win hockey games. The Raptors are playing with heart, and they're winning basketball games. The Leafs aren't. They're just hoping teams are going to lay down so they can just fire goals at them left and right, and when they're not, they're getting pummeled early on. They got to smarten up. Now, I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen, what's got to give. But something has to. The question is what? Because line changes aren't really a thing anymore to me. Because the whole team's just playing garbage. Maybe there's 1 or 2 guys, selectively who aren't playing terrible. But right now, things aren't pretty. All right? And in that game, coming back from the deadline, or from the All-Star break, on the 27th of January, the Leafs are in Nashville taking on the Predators, a team who is trying to find themselves as well. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10 as of right now, 22-18-7. They won their last game, and they're not playing very well lately. So if you're the Leafs, you got to go in there and try. If you can put up a road victory in Nashville to start that informal second half, that might start the roll. But you got to start getting points because they are going fast. You look at the standings right now, the Leafs have played 49 games and have 57 points. The Florida Panthers had the same amount of points, but they played 2 less games. If this team wants a playoff spot, you got to get going. And that's all going to start on January 27th. If they want to get out of this hole and they want to get right where they were not too long ago, they got to find a way to get some wins. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and didn't enjoy the hockey game today and haven't enjoyed Leafs hockey lately, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video. What are your thoughts on this Leaf team right now? What do you think should happen come trade All-Star break, trade deadline, whatever the case may be? Let me know in the comments below everything you guys want to talk about when it comes to this team. All right? Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me DM, do all that great stuff. Patreon link is also down below, so sign up for that if you guys are interested. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition very shortly as they beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in Minnesota tonight. We'll talk about that very shortly. A much more positive video coming soon for the Raptors and Timberwolves. And as for the Leafs, as we talked about, their next contest is on Monday, January 27th in Nashville, Tennessee, as they take on the Nashville Predators. 8 p.m. puck drop there as the Leafs get back into the win column. Number 2, feel good. Number 3, win a damn game. That's all I got to say, all right? So thank you so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys then.